On a sadder note of sorts, we had to put our dog down recently, and it's a tough thing to do. You know, nothing was wrong with her. I'm just really busy right now, and she was very sick. That was a joke. All right, that was a joke, and she would have loved that joke. So don't you worry about it. That's the type of humor she had. She was a rescue. It's not your labradoodle humor, all right? It's a little darker. She was a wonderful dog. We loved her, and her name was Annie. And the reason we got her was my sister worked at a vet, and people do put dogs down for no reason. So if someone brought a dog in that was fine, they just didn't want it. My sister couldn't do it, so she would walk the dog back and then just steal the dog. I don't know the laws on all that, but I'm sure now people are finding out that their dog's still alive right now. So we got Annie. Annie was getting put down. She was a hunting dog, and she was terrible at it. And she was bred to be a hunting dog, and she was just like a misfit toy that just didn't do it. She got shot once. And that's because the guy, he would be doing target practice, and then she'd just walk in front of the targets, and he would hit her, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "What are you doing?" She had no awareness about her, the senses that dogs have. We had turkeys in our backyard once, and I let her out to go chase these turkeys, retired hunting dog, figured that's fun. And we have a very normal backyard. It's not Yellowstone Park. You can see all of it at all times. I push her out, and she just pees and then comes back in the house. Never sees the turkeys. And I'm just looking at her you didn't feel anything? Nothing was going. I sensed it as a human on the couch. I felt there was turkeys outside. You want to take just one lap around, see if... The guy used her a lot for duck hunting, so he would shoot a duck, she's supposed to run and go get it, and then bring it back. So what I like to picture is he shoots the duck, she runs out, comes back, no duck. And she's like, "I don't even know what we're doing." All right, I did not, a million things flew in the air when you shot that gun, and I'm supposed to know which one you hit. And the guy's just looking at her, and then she's like, "You're not even the guy that I came out here with." Do you see, is there another guy out here by any chance? Our daughter would put birthday cone hats on her, and one slipped over her eye, and it was like that for 6 hours. I was just trying to see how long, how's it accidentally not coming off? And she was just going about her day, just eating, drinking, yeah, I can't see all that eye no more, all right? That's the cards I was dealt, and that's okay. And then I pulled it off of her, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a doctor." And I'm like, "I am a doctor." Just two dumb animals talking to each other. So she had skin cancer, and she would get all these spots on her. So we kept getting them removed, but it was really starting to take a toll on her, and she was older. So we knew the day was close. And our daughter, she's 6 now, but she was 5 at the time. This was her first pet. She was best friends with this dog. And it was the first thing that was going to die in her lifetime. So it's a lot of stuff to have to explain to a kid, And so I was talking to my wife about how are we going to tell her? And at first I was like, let's just act like we didn't have a dog. 5-year-olds are smart, but if we stick together on this, and she comes home from school and is like, "Where's the dog?" And we're like, "What dog?" I've never seen a dog. Don't you think I would know if there was a dog? But I read an article about the long-term damage of that. It's pretty good. So I was just honest with her. And I set her down. I said, "Look, Annie's very sick, and she's older, and she's going to die soon. This happens, so just love her as much as you can right now." And she took it as good as a 5-year-old can take it. So the next day, I kind of told her again, you got to tell kids over and over again. I kind of kept telling her. I didn't want this to be a surprise. And then Annie surprised us by living 6 months longer. I mean, we were way off on when we thought she was going to die. But I already started telling my daughter I didn't want to stop and then have to start it again. So I just kept it up for 6 months. Every day I was like, "She'll die. All right, she will die. She will die. I will die. Your mom's dead." Finally the day was here, and our daughter was at school. And so my sister and my wife, they took Annie to go have to put her to sleep. And I went to go pick up our daughter to tell her. I've already been telling her. And so I picked her up. I told her. It was brutal, very sad. She took it as if this was the first she's heard about it. We get home, and my wife was like, how was it? Which is already a dumb, like, it was great. You know, I loved it. Can't wait for the next thing to die. Nice to say I told you so, you know. I told my wife it was terrible, you know. And then my wife goes, you didn't tell her that I did it, did you? And I was like, no, why would I say that? Like, I didn't even think about it, you know. Then I looked at her like, is that what you would have said, though? Would you have told her that I did it? You know how your dad's been talking with the dog dying? Well, he's finally had enough. I always get home late doing comedy, and my wife will be asleep, so I'll go in, I fix something to eat, I'll watch TV, I'll be home for like an hour. Then I hear my wife from the bedroom, and she'll be like, Nate, is that you? You know, you better hope to God it's me. You have let some murderer get quite comfortable in this house. He is eating. And if someone broke into our house, we don't have a gun to protect us. So, like, oh, I have a pocket knife. That's what I have, which is going to do nothing. I could hope to aggravate him at best. Like, I'd cut him and he'd be like, you just ripped my shirt? And then he'd murder both of us. That's best case scenario. With a pocket knife. Because I don't know how to use this knife in the middle of the day. Much less I'm gonna wake up out of a dead sleep and have some kind of knife skill I've never had before. And it's a flip-out knife. You're supposed to go one motion, but I always have to pull it the rest of the way, so... He'd just walk in and be like, oh, I'm not really that nervous about that. You don't know what you're doing. I'm like, I don't. It's just there for show. So what we have to do, me and my wife, we have to sleep strategically in our bed to prepare for an attack. So my wife, she sleeps next to the door because it's my strategy. So, yeah. I drew it up. So the plan is she's next to the door. So when the guy comes in, she's gonna lunge at him, whether she's awake or not, but she will lunge. And she's from Alabama. She's pretty scrappy. So she will put up a pretty good fight with this guy. At least a good enough fight that I can be practicing with my knife on my side. I can already have it out. He won't even see that part. So when he comes to me, I'll be like, I don't know if you looked over here while you fought my wife, but that used to be one whole pillow. I'm just saying, it's your call at this point. My dad is a magician. He's done that my entire life. He was a clown at the very beginning, just in case you're like, how do you get into something like that? It goes clown and magic. There's 2 steps. You can take them in either order. I was born, he was a clown. It was never weird to me. I thought everybody's dad was a clown. My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up. We had this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge. And I remember it didn't fit, the Easter Bunny head didn't fit in the car, like he couldn't sit normal, so his head was bent to the side. And I remember he had his seatbelt on, and he's just like, and I was like, I like to think about all the other people that saw that just in the car next to him, just at a red light. You're like, I didn't even know they hung out like that. So me and my dad, he just does magic now, and he's very good at what he does. He's very funny. and we do shows together. So one time we did this show. Magicians have conventions where they get together and they buy and sell tricks and they give a lecture and they do this big show. So this guy was putting one together in Des Moines, Iowa, which is the birthplace of magic, something a lot of people don't know. And it's not, but it does sound like it could be. I don't know why. I said that in Des Moines, and people are like, I think I already knew that. They're like, yeah, he's right. So this guy calls me, he's like, your dad's performing this year, so we want you to come down, and we're gonna make you appear out of a magic trick. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna surprise my dad, surprise the audience, everybody will go crazy, and then I'll do 5 minutes of stand-up, and that will end the show. He's like, it's gonna be like a big deal. And I was like, all right, I agreed to it. I fly to Des Moines, I'm hiding, I'm in my room, no one knows I'm there. The show starts, my dad's out performing, I climb in a box backstage. When my dad gets done performing, they ask him to stay and help, they push the box out. The trick is, the guy is a very pretty lady assistant, she walks around, shows the box is empty, and then she climbs in, normally it just falls apart, and then she disappears. But now it falls apart, and it's me, and I pop out. And you have to come out big. I don't know if you've ever appeared out of a magic trick, but if you do, yeah, you can't just be like, how you doing? You know, like, it's gotta be a big grand, like, can you believe it? And I look at my dad, his face is so surprised, he had no idea. But his eyes are just like, why would you ever do this? And I was like, is this not a good time to visit you? The audience is clapping, but they're not going that crazy. Like, the clapping starts dying down. And as I'm standing there, it's like hitting me that I was like, I don't think they know who we are. That guy told me they did, and they don't. They don't know that's my dad. They don't know I'm a comedian. This looks like the stupidest trick they've ever seen. It doesn't make sense. Like, they're like, a pretty girl goes in, then just a whatever dude pops out. That's your trick? Your trick is backwards, sir. It's backwards. And now I gotta do comedy, but they don't know I'm a comedian, so I get a microphone. They're like, he's gonna talk to us now? How long is this trick? And when you do comedy in front of people not expecting comedy, it does not come off as comedy. It sounds like a mean speech. They were just like, get back in the box. Where's the girl? Is she fine? Can we hear from her?